Yo, YouTube, what's good? What's good with you, man? It's your man AC Star. What's going on, y'all? Just want to do the little quick live today. Just want to put something out there today. I hope everybody is good. Haven't seen my peoples in a while. Salute, Triple OG. Salute. What's going on, Lady Plants Alive? How are you this morning? Good morning to you, my wonderful friend. Long time no see or hear from. Hope is all is well. Hope all is well with you and the family. Hope you've been taking good care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everything is good on your side of the tracks. As you can see, things have changed. I started my own channel now. Just left that weirdos channel. Peace out to him. It's kind of crazy how we on the same kind of topic today, the same kind of vibe today, but it is what it is. So, yo, hope everybody is feeling good. Not gonna be here long. Hit the like, you know what I'm saying, when you come in. Yeah, I got the message, babe. I'm gonna hit you back probably tomorrow. So hit the like when you come in, you know what I'm saying, if you can. Um, Yo, so what's going on with everybody, man? I hope everybody is doing good. Sorry about the inconvenience and inconsistencies of me not doing a show every day, but as you guys know, I always tell y'all it's my season. But yo, today's show, man, this is something that was really something I've been, dealing with or rolling around with in my mind about this space, right? And the one thing that I've learned about this space is that it's it's a little different. It's a little different. It's a little different, right? It's a great space for sometimes, but it's different. It's different in the sense that you have a lot of people who wake up in the morning who well, I'm not even gonna say wake up in the morning, but you just have people in this space who let me take a step back. Um what I've noticed in this space, right, since I've been in this space, is that there's this particular line of thinking that's been really prevalent, right? And Black YouTube itself kind of blew up. Like a lot of people always correct me and say, well, AC, man, it's been a lot of people here. And, Tommy Sotomayor is not the first person, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, dominate the space. It was other people. I'm not familiar with those people. I really just cut into this space maybe 2017, 18. And that was from listening to Tommy, right? Listening to Tommy. And then, you go down that rabbit hole. And when I looked up, I was on RBR's channel and Psycho's channel, and and I guess that was just from my algorithm being aligned with that, right? But the one thing I noticed about Tommy was his direct target was the Black community and Black women. I got you, Triple OG. I got you. Got you covered. Got you covered, my brother. Got you covered, my brother. There you go, Trip. Got you covered. Got you covered, Trip. Got you covered, my brother. Got you covered. Okay, so and the one narrative that was continuously consistent with Tommy was the Black race, Black women, Black females, Black children, their behavior module. He always highlighted when a Black woman did something wrong. He exploited it. I mean, for me, it was he did a story about this he did a story about this young lady from North Carolina who ran away from home, and and he brought the story. What's going on the square? On the square, my brother. Salute, Boaz. Salute. And the thing that I noticed is that he always made it his business to exploit Black people, exploit Black behavior that he didn't like, right? But what I'm noticing with all this is what's happening in this space and what's happening with Black people is, and if you look at the title of the stream, I'm not an expert, but I stayed at a Holiday Express last night, right? And the reason why I chose that title is because what I'm realizing in this space, right? The people who have the most to say about a particular topic. Yeti Black, salute my brother Jason Mabry on the square, Boaz. They wake up every day and and it's black women this, and they'll bring out a star. They'll, like the other day I was on Obsidian channel yesterday, and he's talking about Boyce Watkins got married, and they're trying to figure out how long will the marriage last. Was it a good marriage? Was it worth it? Is this woman gonna do something wrong? It's almost like we have a bunch of channels that are created to create dysfunction and devalue of black people and black lives. Peace, Ayel. What's going on, my brother? Salute to you from the UK, bro. Salute, salutations, my brother. Right? And it seems like we just have a bunch of people who want to bring up stars and bring up. It's a YouTuber now that's doing a Platinum Elite. He's doing a show about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, and saying, hey, she's demasculating him. He's emasculating him and turning him feminine and all this and that, right? So we're hearing from people who are not married, who are like the kicker was I was on a panel last week with a guy who was talking about child support and all the mercies of child support and all this craziness. I'm good, my brother. I'm good this morning. And all this craziness about child support, right? And he's telling everybody, oh, Title IV is about child support. It puts the money back into the treasurer. All misinformation, right? I mean, and Goldstein, what's up, Goldstein? Good morning to my brother Goldstein. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Right? So he's going all off Mr. Research. I don't know if y'all ever heard him. So he's going off. He's like, yeah, and child support this and child support that. And if y'all want the laws changed, y'all got to do this and that, read this book, this and that, this, that, right? And I mean, he's on there for hours. He's going back and forth. He telling me I'm emotional. You know how they do when you're telling them something and you're being passionate about it. You know how they always hit you with, oh, you're just emotional, da 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 da, right? And the thing was, the man kept going on and on about child support, telling us, well, this is what happens in the courtroom. And I've been like, I don't know what state they from, but anytime I've ever been in child support court, it's just been me and the parent and me and the mother in there. Ain't no fucking, they don't have, this ain't Judge Joe Brown where they got an audience. Right? You don't have contestants in the audience that'll go, if the judge doesn't give me child support, go, or if the mom says something, like you don't have that. It's you and the parent, right? So these guys are like, yo, we go and sit in child support court. I've been there. I witnessed it. I witnessed brothers. That's a lie. Nobody's letting you in someone's intimate child support court hearing so that you could just be a observer or audience member. Like these guys literally be saying this on lives, right? So he's going all off about this is what child support is, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And I'm telling you, no, bro, that's not it. They saying, oh, well, when you send the government get this amount of money, the government don't get anything. When a parent is awarded child support, the whole award goes to the parent. No pennies aren't pushed here. A dollar isn't pushed there unless you owe monetary welfare, which is the mother receive financial support, not just food stamps, not just food subsidies, but she received monetary subsidies from welfare. The father has to pay that back. So when you get your child support order, that is taken out and given to welfare till you pay that debt. But they break it down. You have your arrears, then you have what they take out to pay off your arrears, whether it's child support or whether it's welfare. But the point wasn't that. The point was this. This man went on this great diatribe about how this is that and this is that and child support, da 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 da. And at the end of the fucking conversation said this. I don't have no kids, so I really don't know. I'm really not in the child support system, but I just, what? So you're going to tell a bunch of people who have kids, who's been through the system, that they're wrong about a system that they're in, but you're an expert on it and you don't even have kids and you've never been in child support court in your life. I don't care how many books you read, But if you don't experience it in your life, that's kind of what expert means. That's why the EXPERT, it means you have some experience in something. Peace, Psycho, Black Power, my brother, right? It means that you have experience in something, right? And it doesn't mean that you read it in a book. An expert is not a person who read it in a book. Usually, if you're an expert, they expect you to put in a certain amount of hours at something, right? Because anybody can read a book and supposedly obtain the knowledge, but to be an expert at something, you have to experience it. You have to live it. You have to know it in its whole, in its totality, not just happenstance, reading a few chapters. This man literally went on a diatribe about child support and the eras of it and blame it on Ronald Reagan and this, that, and the third. And the motherfucker don't got kid the first. Not one child, not a stepchild, not a child. Ain't never been to child support court in his life. Exactly, Psycho. Expert equals experience. Right? And we have all these experts out here. Now, yesterday, right, you got Obsidian tearing up Boyce Watkins. They took a picture of him and Boyce, a still photo of Boyce Watkins, Willie D, and they was like, look, she looking at Willie D. She ready to get him yams to Willie D. Like, it's almost like we created a sector where the people literally want Black excellence to fail. They want it to fail. This man literally was like, I'm going to critique Boyce Watkins' choice to marry this woman because he's a public figure. Not because I'm jealous that he found love, but because I think I need to critique his marriage and I think I need to give my 2 cents because me, as a bachelor who's never been married in my life, I'm an expert on marriage. I'm an expert on marrying Black women and I ain't even fucking married. I say on my show every day that I'm a fucking bachelor, but I'm about to tell y'all about marriage. This is where we're going wrong, right? Then you have, when we're having other discussions, then you have the non-ADOS Black people come in and tell us about being Black in America. They ain't never been a Black African American a day in their life. But they stayed at a Holiday Express last night, so they get to tell us how to be Black people. I'm not an expert, but I stayed at a Holiday Express last night, so you got to take my opinion. Then you get the guys that come up on the panels and they interact with the conversation and they're confirmed bachelors. They've never been married. They don't have children. And then when people with children, people who have families, people who are married, try to tell them the experience and what's going on. Oh, no, you're a simp. Oh, you're a beta male, buck. Oh, you're controlled. Oh, your wife's manipulating you. What the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm not sure where this narrative comes from. I'm not sure if they're all just clones of Tommy Sotomayor and they figured out if I become an expert on Black female fuckery and an expert on Black love and Black relationships and the failures of them, I'll get paid. If you've never been married, I think it will be pretty hard to critique a marriage or give your input on what a marriage is if you've never been married. I've never been white in my life. I can never tell white people what it is to be white. I can tell them what it feels like when white people express their whiteness to me, but I can't tell them what their whiteness is. But it's amazing to me how all these people, like RBR got a stream going. It's kind of crazy. I guess that's how link me and this nigga is, right? His title, his show is Jessica X says that Kevin Samuels or gay people can give advice to straight. How can a gay person give advice to a straight person? What advice are they giving them? Now, if they're giving them styling advice, okay, but can a gay person tell a straight person how to have a heterosexual relationship? It's two different things. Yeah, there are some commonalities because it's a relationship, but the dynamics are different because you guys have a steeper mountain to climb, more pushback on your relationship, a society that's not totally ready for it, spaces that are not accepting of it, right? People who are pushing back. You don't really get that with heterosexual. It really comes down to aligning thought processes, aligning belief systems, aligning life experiences, aligning goals and aspirations if you find the right mate. Salute, Dolomite. What's going on, bro? Thanks for showing up. Yo, y'all, can y'all hit the like and share button if y'all don't mind? So for me, it's like we're being bombarded by a bunch of experts, right? And then the guys who tell us about being Pookie and Ray Rays and criminality and like if y'all ain't never been in a police raid or if you ain't never been on a block that was bumping, you can't tell me that cops don't shut down crime. You can't tell me I experienced it. But it just seems like we have a bunch of people in these spaces who are experts on things that they haven't even experienced in life. Like, think about it. Jessa X tells black women about themselves all the time, and she is a British African person. She's not an American black woman. She's never probably even been to America except on a vacation or a trip. But people tune in every day to listen to her tell us about what black women want, what African Americans want, what our relationships is, what our experience is. It's like we can't even live our lives. It's like everybody want to tell us, no, this is what your life really is. Well, are you American? Are you black? Like a black American? Like, how the fuck you gonna tell me what my life is? Like, you literally have people who are not married, who are not in relationships, who will see a celebrity relationship and critique it. You have people on here who will call music producers who have platinum albums, who have awards from major music academies. You will have them calling them dusty. Right? Like you will have them denigrate the best of us just to prove a point, just to align themselves with, like, for instance, O'Shea Duke Jackson had a show on talking about the producer London and his relationship with the female singer, right? What's her name? Summer Walker, right? He called the man a dusty. This man is a millionaire who makes millions of dollars, who has fucking platinum albums, hits, people banging down his door, but you call this excellent young black producer a fucking dusty because you're trying to make a point about the woman. You're trying to denigrate the woman and devalue the black woman. So you devalue both of these successful black people to make your point. You guys are YouTube celebrities. You guys have done nothing that an academy or any intellectual property entity would notice. Right? Exactly, Dolomite. And this is my thing. Tim Harvey, peace, big bro. What's the deal, bro? Glad to have you, my G. Glad to have you, bro. Exactly, Dolomite. And this is the thing. They're like, oh, she curved him 20 years ago, so now she done had babies, and her pussy ain't no good no more. Now she done took this sucking. What? They evolved as humans. Maybe it wasn't their time. You ever heard, like I was saying yesterday, you heard that saying, it ain't yours if you don't come back to you. If you lose something, then it wasn't meant for you, right? He lost it and it came back to him. It's a great book called The Alchemist. I suggest all y'all read it. The Alchemist. It's exactly about that. If something is meant for you, it's going to come back to you. That woman was meant for that man. But it's also a narrative of he's a pro-black in their eyes. I don't think Boyce Watkins is pro-black. I don't know where the fuck they get that from. I guess because he talks about financially helping pro-blacks. Yeah. I think it's that Anglo-Saxon. I think it's that Saxonian idea, Israelite. I think she does have some Saxonian verbiage in her communication. I think it is a hard Saxonian Germanic language that she speaks sometimes. It's not that, because if you listen to a person from Boston talk, they sound just like a person from Britain, right? It's just really not as hard as theirs, but it's so close that it's almost parallel. Right? So now we have this collective of people who are teaming up to dehumanize. I'm saying, Big J, he's not a. It's what does it matter what his physique look like? She's older too. She's not going to get a buff 35-year-old big game. She's not going to get a buff big game, bruh. They're in their 50s, big game. Things change when you get our age. Things change. It ain't about looks anymore. It's about being with someone that suits you, bro. I understand what you're saying, but even in that, you're just going too far because you're aligning it with that thinking. Like there's an optimal way to be. Nigga, if you're over 30, you're 35, little bruh. Stop it. Nigga, you can't put the motherfucking sand back in the sand thing. Big James, big game. When the shit turn over, when the sand hourglass turn over, nigga, and the sand is coming out, it ain't going back in. What's up, Danini? Peace, sis. Like, and when me and Danini arguing with RBR, right, about college, thinking he an expert. The nigga wasn't an expert. And then when we proved to him that he was wrong, you can't tell people who probably got motherfucking who probably got Pell Grants what a Pell Grant is. So I'm not an expert, but I stayed at a Holiday Express last night. That's what we have in Black YouTube. All of these people who have like, think about it. Kevin Samuels is a twice divorced man who makes a hell of a lot of bread every day trying to tell people how to have valuable relationships. And he's not in one himself. Or we don't know, right? But if you're telling me something, show me that you're experiencing that. I used them too, Danini. And I bought me some fly ass clothes and went on a lot of dates with my Pell Grants because Uncle Sam paid for my tuition. So the Pell Grant was play money. But we have a group of people who are not fathers, who are not married, who are not successful outside of YouTube, critiquing and devaluing people who have experiences, who are knowledgeable, who are actually experts. I consider myself an expert in child support. Yes, baby boy. Well, okay. Can we discuss this later? Can we discuss it later, please? Daddy doing the show, baby. I gotta hurry up so I can go back to work. Can we discuss it later? All right, thank you. So the point that I'm trying to make is it's like we have to begin to acknowledge that something's going on here. Some kind of, and I don't want to be a conspiracy nut because that's not who I am. I don't believe in no conspiracies. I think all that shit is a bunch of hubbub in some aspects. But right. That's another thing I said to Obsidian yesterday, Psycho. He was running off major business schools from major universities. And I'm saying to myself, you're asking someone to have something that you don't even have. You're asking for a woman to graduate from University of Penn or graduate from NYU and graduate from Stern Business School or graduate from the top tier business schools, right? But you don't even have a degree. On the flip side, your claim to fame was I'm a blue collar man, right? I'm a blue collar guy. So as a blue collar tradesman, do you think that you can put up your blue collar tradesman degree and then say to a woman, well, if you're not coming from Harvard, or if you're not coming from Penn, or if you're not coming from Yale, then you have no business in my life. What are you offering her? Right. I didn't say just because you do something doesn't make you an expert. And if you would have been listening in the beginning, Big James, the point that I was trying to make is expert means you experienced it. You experienced it and you had a high level of experience in it, a certain amount of hours. For someone to call you an expert in a particular trade or a particular field, you have to put in a certain amount of hours to get that. To be considered an expert, you have to show proficiency as an expert. So I'm not saying because you did something that makes you an expert. What I'm saying is if you have heavy experience in something, 9 times out of 10, that's going to make you an expert, especially if you're learning and you're evolving in that situation that I'm speaking of, that you're experiencing. So what we're watching is a bunch of people who want people to have these particular levels of this, that, and the third, and they don't have them themselves. You can't tell me about being married if you're not married. If you've been twice divorced, you can't tell me about a happy relationship because you failed twice. Now you can say, you can tell me your part and say, well, listen, this is the part that I contributed. But we all know there's 3 sides to the story: your side, their side, and the truth. Buddha, go downstairs now. So I'm just trying to understand why so many of these people wake up every day to give their opinion on issues that they're not really even involved in. It's almost like, I look at it like this, right? Like the SYSBM brothers who still complain about black women, right? I look at it as, you asked to be traded from the team. You got traded. Now you come to your old team's practice every week and then go on social media and say, see, he dropped the pass. That's why I want to be on that sorry team. If you're not on the team anymore, why are you worried about what they're doing? You have the Supreme King Coons of the world. You have people who are openly SYSBM, who don't want to be with black women, who show up every day to talk shit about a team they no longer want to be a part of. Make that make sense. And then they're buoyed by the inexperienced people who are talking about topics that they have no true experience in. Yeah, Zor, RBR is not a journalist. Because I've never seen a journalist present information that will prove their point wrong. Like, he's the only dude I know that will go somewhere to prove a point, and then when he brings the information, it's only bolstering the person who's coming against him argument. I've never seen no shit like that in my life. It's almost like this motherfucker goes to court to get his victim off, but he ends up getting him 100 years. To get his client off, and he ends up getting him 100 years like that. And that's what I'm saying, like a RBR, right? Just spouts a bunch of nonsense, says he's an expert and shit, and be talking a bunch of nothing. I'm just trying to understand where these people get the gumption from, or if these people are really sent to cause this dissension in this community. No, he did not, Danini. And the crazy part about it is, the real brother from the Real Brother Network, who always say he the real brother, went and got that information from the Latino, whatever, I don't need the Latin Time or Latin something. It was a bootleg ass Latin third-rate newspaper that was basically trying to show their people what ways you can get money and how you can use the grants to get to school. So even his information wasn't for black people. Wasn't for black people. And then, you know, they get up and they talk about black people every day, but let me go over there and be like, talk about the ills of white people. Oh, we don't talk about race over here, AC. Yes, y'all do. Y'all talk about black people every day. Y'all devalue black people every day. Black men and women. And for black men, their favorite 2 characters, their favorite 3 characters, Boyce Watkins, Russell Wilson, and Dwayne Wade. These are the examples of beta male bucks, wimps, simps, right? Black successful black men who've made it on their own, who've get in relationships with equally successful black women or closely successful black women, and now, oh, it's a problem. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It's starting to seem very disruptive in nature, right? When me and Psycho was on the panel last week, and the guy, see, and Big J is an advocate of all of this rhetoric, all of this macho caveman ass rhetoric, right? Because that's basically what it is. It's bash a bitch over the head, grab her by her weave, and drag her into the cave and be like, cook, clean, and keep the cave clean. And you can only leave the cave when I say so. Now, this person could have been the town's cave builder, right? And just happened to like your punk ass. But now that she's in a relationship with you, she no longer has a career. She no longer has substance. She no longer has her own autonomy. It's now, bitch, you in the cave with me to keep this cave clean. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Right? That's not going to work. So then they like, all right, well, these American women, they're not cooperative. They don't want to be case. So they go to third world countries and get remedial ass immigrants and bash them over the head. But what they always forget, and Eddie Murphy said it best, once Fufu get around Tamika and them, she's gonna want half too, nigga. That was real. So when you bring Fufu from Brazil or Dominican Republic or South Africa, once Fufu get around Tamika and them, because you can't keep Fufu around Tamika and them but so long. Eventually they're gonna get around Tamika and them. And when Fufu come home with them braids in her hair, or she asks you for a Gucci purse, it's over, nigga. It's over. Like, they don't take that into account. They just think that these international women gonna stay submissive. Nah, nigga, she gonna run into a real one day while you ain't paying attention and you let her out the cave, and that's when you gonna lose her. I want them to shut up sometimes too, OJ, but all you gotta do is say, shut the hell up. Now, the shoe might come flying back in some instances, but I don't know. OJ and Rothstein, not in my chat. See, because I've dated Asian, I've dated Hispanic, I've dated white. I fuck white. I didn't date white. I've humped white. I've never dated a white woman, but I've had sex with one. Well, a few. But I've dated Spanish women. I've dated Asian women, right? I've dated African women. I've dated women of other races. They're just as pushback-ish as any woman. If you have them dickmatized in the beginning, yeah, you got them dickmatized. But that wears off. And when that wears off, then you meet the real person. See, what we all don't want to admit, in all interactions, you're going to meet the person's representative. And eventually the real person is going to show up. And that's who you're going to have to deal with, no matter where the fuck they come from. But we have these disruptors who call themselves experts who are really over here to disrupt the continuation of Black people coming together and figuring it out ourselves. We'll take Black love and examples of Black love, and we'll dissect it, and we'll look for all the errors in it and all the flaws in it and say why it won't be successful, but we won't hope and pray that it's successful. We won't point out the good things. We won't point out like, wow, they knew each other for 25 years and they finally made it to each other. Like, that's a good thing. But we have a segment of our community who will see that as a bad thing. And that's what bothers me. Complaining on live streams is going to shut women up, just like complaining on live streams ain't going to make men drink more women bathwater. It's Psycho. I think I'm starting to think that this is a designed social media narrative. I'm really starting to think that there's people behind the scenes who are promoting this dysfunction within our community. No, it's not being put on the back burner. That's not who she didn't. At the time, they didn't have a connection. At the time, she didn't like him. What's wrong with that? If she didn't like him, she didn't like him. I mean, I don't see what's the complexity in that. If it wasn't their time, if they didn't click in the beginning, they didn't click. The point is they click now. Yeah, the dating coaches are even worse. Even worse. Now I like what's his name? Alan Roger Curry. I like him as a person. Like I like his persona, right? But I would never buy into anything that he's talking about. Because for me, all of this is trying to modify the behaviors of black people and get them to love through a white lens and saying that the black love is dead. Like all these people advocate for black love being dead. But when people who are in black love, like myself or Danini or even Big J for that matter, right? They don't want to hear us. They don't want to hear us express how black love, well, that's just you a simp. Like you can't have a good relationship, or you can't be a solid man or be kind and gentle to your woman without being called a simp. Like I have 3 daughters. I don't want them to have any of you niggas as a mate. I don't want them to have somebody that wants them to automatically submit to them with no plan, no future, no examples of why I submit to you. How would it benefit me? I don't want them buying into that. She's been banged. What's banged out? Because she was married. What the fuck? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all mind are so immature that if a woman gets in a relationship and gets married and have 3 kids, and then she gets divorced and gets in a relationship, so the pussy ain't no good because she was in a long-term relationship with her husband. So now the pussy is no longer serviceable because, you know, she gave it to him 25 years later. That's craziness, bro. That's immaturity. That's primitive thinking. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Like everything's not gonna work out perfect, and you hope, okay, that didn't work out, and if you're blessed enough to meet someone and like they getting married. Like we should learn to be happy for people. And then if it failed, be like, yo, get back on the bike and keep it moving. Life is like a fucking bicycle, bruh. It's gonna be bumps in the motherfucking road. Everything is not gonna be smooth. Remember when you was little Big J and you first learned when you was riding your bike and your brakes didn't work and you slammed and you bust your nuts on the bar? You didn't stop riding the bike because you bust a nut on the bar. How is that having respect for yourself if a woman was married and then y'all meet each other later in life? So if somebody fucked Jeff Bezos' wife, they don't have value in them. They don't respect themselves. Like Jeff Bezos' wife is marrying a school teacher that teaches at her kids' prep school. So he don't love himself because he's marrying a billionaire bitch. He don't have respect for himself. Like, I'm sure he wanted Jeff Bezos' wife plenty of times, right? But guess what? Her and Jeff Bezos broke up. Guess who's winning now? This nigga got him a billionaire. So is he not respecting himself? I would say he's winning. And her and Jeff Bezos got like 3 kids. So that box been banged out. So is he, or that only applies to black men? Because see, that's what I'm seeing here. See, other coaches can do that. Other coaches can have bounce back relationships and meet people later on in life, and it's cool. But the black man, no, nigga, you got to be by yourself, nigga. No, nigga, you can't have her, nigga. Makes no sense to me. It's like we're so desperate to be able to treat our women how we see other groups treat their women that we're willing to do and say anything and allow people to do and say anything in these spaces to create that narrative. Big James want the caveman times back. Shut up and cook my food. Well, I need to understand if the conversation I think needs to be had, Dolomite, is the conversation about who's controlling the narrative when it comes to black life. Who's telling us that there's no black love is dead? Who's saying that? Who's saying that if you met a woman in 1990 and y'all didn't click, but y'all live your life and go through life, and then y'all meet up again in 2019 or 2018 and y'all click, and then in 2021 y'all get married? Who is the one creating that narrative that Boyce Watkins is the loser in that? Who's telling us that? Who's creating that? You have white men who's been married 4, 5, 6 times. I don't see you guys in this space telling them that they're losers, they don't respect themselves, blah, 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 blah. Only black men. Now, I understand the narrative that black people, we have a small window of fucking up, right? Like our window of fucking up is very minute, right? I understand that. That's just on everything we do. Business, jobs, education, living. We have a small window of fuck upness. We can't fuck up. I understand that. But this narrative that all these people who haven't experienced the things that they're saying they're experts about and continuously push that narrative out there, it's beginning to unravel us as a community. It's beginning to seep out. Like, the only reason why Kwame Brown is doing what he's doing and all this is going on the way it's going on is because the narrative has been posted to defame black excellence. Everybody talks shit about Kwame Brown, but this is the one thing y'all can't take away from that nigga. He was an NBA professional for decades and a plus. I'm not misunderstanding you, little bro. You know I don't. Come on, Big J. Come on, bro. You my brother. I don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't do that to you, bro. I respect your intellect. I respect what you say. So I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying on purpose. I wouldn't do that to you, bro. I wouldn't. I'm actually pushing. I'm actually having rhetorical questions, but I'm also asking you honest questions. Does your philosophy just apply to black men? Real talk. I'm not misunderstanding you on purpose, bro. You tend to think I'm doing that, but I'm not. I'm not. So it's like, how do we take back that narrative, and how do we push back on the people that's demeaning black excellence to prove points that this black excellence is somehow faux excellence, or the flaws that we see in it demeans its value, therefore I can say that it's a dusty. If you call London on the Track a dusty and you're just a YouTuber, and it's only because the way he presents himself to the world, you guys will call him a Pookie and Ray Ray, or how he dresses, or, you know, whatever y'all heard in the back channels about him. But I'm not going to call an award-winning producer a dusty just to prove a point. And you have black YouTubers who do that. It's like you guys are trying to educate the young generation about what to avoid in women in relationships, and the chapters in your lives haven't even expired yet. Like, you mad at me saying you 35 and you not, so you got a long life to live. Ain't no woman calling London on the Track dusty, but a bougie ass bitch who wasn't gonna fuck with him anyway. And 9 times out of 10, she gonna be the main one he busting down. They call him Dusty because, Big J, you know why they call him Dusty? They call him Dusty to neutralize him, to say, all right, if I call him Dusty, then I'm not going to be attracted to him. I'm not going to show my hand. It's the playground shit, Big Game. The girl who chased you around the most in the playground, that's the person who liked you the most in the school. The girl who talked the most shit about you, picked on your clothes and all that shit, she really liked you. She just wished that your clothes was different. Because a motherfucker that don't give a fuck about you ain't going to say 2 words to you. They wouldn't roast him. They wouldn't roast. Exactly, Psycho. Exactly. And that's my point, Psycho. That's my point. This sector is to kill black love. This sector is to kill black love. He wouldn't get roasted. Did y'all roast Rob Johnson? He married to a white woman. Do y'all roast what's his name, Allen? He's married to a white woman. Y'all wouldn't roast him. Y'all wouldn't have touched him at all. They only touch him because he a black, because like Psycho, Steve the Dean is married to a white woman. Now he do catch a little flack, but he catch flack because, you know, they don't think he's a good dating coach, or it doesn't show, you know, his Becky is not up to par. But I believe that what we're seeing is a concerted effort to distract. OJ, what does it matter that she put him in the friend zone? Why is that so important? Why do you keep emphasizing the friend zone? You roast Steve all the time. Everybody else don't. And you only roast him because he ain't got a bad bitch. If he had a bad white bitch, you wouldn't roast him. Keep it 100. But what difference does that make to you? You was like 2 years old when he met her. 4. You was 4 or 5 at the most. He was 20-something. She was 20-something. So why does it matter if she curved him 25 years ago? What difference does that make? What does that change? I remember a guy told a story to me. He's like, he chased his wife for 2 years, right? He didn't give up. He's like, man, I chased her for 2 years. Man, I love them people to death, man. Their relationship is so wonderful. And she sitting, be rubbing his head and shit. I be sitting there like, damn, this old motherfucker is winning. But she curved him. And he said he used to see her all the time. But he was married. He was in a relationship. And when he got out the relationship and he moved on, he said she would come to church and he said he was on her heels. And then one day he just finally broke down her defenses. And they've been together the last 17, 18 years. A second chapter. Big Jane, people have second chapters in their life, man. People have several chapters in their life. What difference do it make? See, Big J, what you gonna learn is everything ain't about looks when you get a certain age. They don't give a fuck about how they look. That shit gonna be shriveled up and wrinkled up in about 10 more years any motherfucking way. Right now, it's about camaraderie. It's about compassion. It's about teamwork. It ain't about looks. See, y'all too superficial. How is she somebody's last resort? What are you talking about? Like, see, like the problem is you're using such definitive words in the book. How can you determine whether or not he's her last resort? Are you fucking serious? She's a fucking doctor, for God's sake. That's what I'm saying. You guys are putting hyperbole into something that doesn't need hyperbole. Last resort. You can't determine that, and nothing in their relationship or nothing that they expose to y'all says that. How? How can you look? I ain't about to get thrown off by that because that ain't my topic. I don't give a fuck about that. That ain't my thing. If that's how you feel, I ain't about to get caught up in that because that's a bunch of bullshit you talking right now. I love you. You know I love you to death. You know I ride with you, but that's a bunch of bullshit because you guys don't know the intimate details of these people's relationships, guys. Y'all don't. You guys are just long-time YouTube listeners and very observant people, but at the same time, you don't know the inner workings of their relationship. You don't know why they're where they are. You don't know what her options are. You don't at all. You have no idea. You're not in her environment. You're not in her league. You're not a peer. None of that. She's old enough to be a mom, damn near, pimping. Right? But my point is this. Let's pay close attention to these people who's causing dissension in our community and who's trying to put up this idea of what optimal black love is while tearing it down simultaneously. Like Kevin Samuels degrades those women in an attempt to say this harsh critique is to give you so you can get your shit together so you can meet a high value man. or whether or not you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. Something is very unwanting about this whole thing. And the more I'm in this space, the more I submerge myself in this space and don't just be stuck to RBR channel and float around, I see that the continuing narrative is to tear down Black excellence, or to create this narrative that Black people are just fucked up and we'll never get it together. And they allow for like Cat Khartoum. I don't know who y'all know who that is. This is this Sudan British broad who do fuck shit. Melody X, another British broad who used to do fuck shit, right? Fasting for Life, Congo motherfucker who talk shit about Black people. Snake Man, African who talk shit about Black people, right? None of these motherfuckers even live in America. Fasting lives in America, right? But he's an immigrant. And not to knock immigrants, because like I say, I'm in a relationship with an immigrant. Been in it for 13 years. I love my immigrant and I love my immigrant kids. Hey, Taya, love you, baby. Miss you. And yes, we're back just for today. Gotta get my ass to work. But I don't know if y'all seeing this. Right, Dolomite. Right. That's what I'm saying, man. See, Dolomite, this is about experience. What you mean, Aries? What you talking about? Aries? Damn. This motherfucking Aries, man. Jesus Christ, man. I gotta watch. See, we got the weirdest law firm in the world. Got the weirdest law firm in the world. Rothstein and Goldstein. Come check us out. We ain't gonna get you off no case, but we gonna keep your deposit. Check us out. We in a shopping center near you. But yeah, on the real side, let's watch these people, man. Let's watch the Mr. Researchers with no kids tell us about the ills of child support and how Black women are, or Mr. Palmer, how Black women are baby mama terrorists and all this crazy shit, right? Just denigrating Black women. And then if you listen, they all try to tie it to the Democratic Party and blame Biden. Because basically that's all this is. It's just a bunch of Black conservatives who think being conservative will somehow erase their Blackness and they'll somehow align them with white people. So then they come back to show the white people, like, listen, as we talk shit about Black people, this is who our people really is. They're unlovable. They're unworth being married. They look like men. They're very aggressive. They don't deserve no love. None whatsoever. If they don't behave and act like Kevin Samuel says, they don't deserve love. Send them to the gallows. Send them dirty Black bitches to the gallows. Send him to the gallows. Yes, he has kids. The point that I'm trying to make, OJ, is his child support experience is his child support experience. And he can't extrapolate his child support experience and say that that's where everybody go to. Yes, because Kwame Brown is now finding success being a coon as well. And all he's doing is pointing out the other, because Charlemagne the God is not for the community. He is not for the culture. He is a culture vulture. Even though he is a Black man, he is a culture vulture. See, we don't want to forget that he took a picture with Tommy Lauren, and Tommy Lauren talks more shit about Black people than anybody. He's emotionally butthurt because he was a failure. And people pointing out his failures is harming him. So this is what it boils down to. Kwame Brown is a misfit, right? He was an NBA misfit. He was a... No, it's not, Big J. No, it's not. No, it's not the majority of Black dudes' experience. And that's the problem. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. See, what y'all got to understand, when them broads go in there looking all crazy like that and you got your shit together, they don't win. They don't win. You can't change the law. You know why a lot of those guys lose? Because they go in there thinking they white men and they go in there with this fucked up ass mentality like, Your Honor, that bitch ain't shit. They try to denigrate the woman to get the kids. They don't make it about the kids. They make it about the woman. And that's why they lose. They don't go in there worried about the welfare of the kids. They go in there trying to put the bitch in check. That's why they lose. Because the court ain't for you to put the bitch in check. The court is for you to take care of your fucking kid. Bottom line. See, that's what I had to learn. It wasn't about her. It was about my kids. And when I learned that, I won every motherfucking time. When I went in that motherfucker with my shit together and I ain't have nothing to prove to the bitch, I was the victorious. I was the victor. And that goes for all my friends. Right. So now Kwame Brown has jumped into the circle of denigrating black people because he's a misfit. Because he was a failed black basketball player and didn't live up to his expectations. So now it's time to go join the other team so they can be security for him and protect him from the onslaught of fucking abuse he's gonna get from black people that will readily call out, you was a bust, my nigga. But his problem is they on your team, bruh. They on your team. I don't know, y'all. It's a lot of weird shit going on in this space. A lot of weird shit. A lot of and I think, and see, this is the thing. I think that's why Tommy was so mad and he went on his little chitlin circuit crybaby routine. Because he was like, damn, these motherfuckers taking my job. He didn't give a fuck about the talking points. He gave a fuck about there's people who have louder voices and they're a collective and they are louder than you when it comes to pointing out black people's fuckery. So you're no longer the go-to for that. You're no longer the place where people can come and singularly listen to you do that. He said he didn't ask to be picked first. OJ, you got this all twisted. But I get your point. He did. You right. He did. Touche, bro. Touche. He didn't. But he got picked first. And he knew what came with that territory. When he put his name to be selected in the draft, I'm pretty sure that all the prognosticators and all the experts in that business let him know there's a likelihood that you'll go be a lottery pick. So he knew he would be a lottery pick. And with that comes expectations, high expectations. Because if franchise is putting their whole motherfucking kit and caboodle on your potential, right? They're looking at your potential and they're saying, if we put money into you and you put effort into yourself, we can win with you. And he didn't put the effort. If he put half the effort he's putting into his lives and all these beefs into his basketball game, he would at least made 1 or 2 all-star teams. Right? If he put half the energy that he's putting into going back and clapping back at these people that he put into his game and into his craft, he would have been no, they wouldn't have said he had a good career. If he would have been a second rounder, they would have said he didn't have a good career. I don't give a fuck what round they took him in. He didn't have a good career. He was a journeyman. And the only reason why he stayed on teams because he was a big man. And it's hard to get skilled big men for this game. It's very hard to get skilled big men for this game right now. Yeah, Dolomite. I just don't. I think we don't. I think the world. I think there's a particular sector in the world that doesn't want black love. I just really believe that there's a lot of people out here that's just trying to sabotage black love and make black love this obsolete thing that can never be obtained. And they're putting this optimal idea around it so that if it's not optimal, then it's not for me. Like people think love is some shit that just automatically happens. Love is something that you work towards. Companionship and camaraderie in your relationship is something that you guys work towards. It's not something that optimally comes because you have a big bank account and you're polished and clean. That doesn't promote love. It takes a few other things to do that. Now, those people who get into love for those reasons, they've made a business decision. And 9 times out of 10, they don't love each other and they either fucking their security or they fucking the secretary or they fucking the pool boy while their husband at work. Or they on fucking YouTube all day clowning and joking and bullshit. So there comes a level of fuckery with that too. But we won't talk. They don't talk about that because the people who are experts in it will be damned to come and tell you that they getting played and they the simps and they the suckers and they the ones who's getting controlled by the broke ass bitches that they brought into their life or the business deals that they're arranging. But now what we're seeing is black people tearing off each other's heads, right? To say what's an optimal black person, what's optimal black love. And the people who are doing this are not experts at optimal any fucking thing. They're not optimal experts in marriage. They're not optimal experts in kids. They're not optimal experts in living life. They're not. They're human beings giving their opinions on topics that they really have no experience in. And because black people, we don't pay attention to that kind of shit and we don't push back, they're now the dominant voice in our community. And they're now being taken serious when they should be fucking shunned. Not silenced, but shunned. Because if you just stayed at a Holiday Express last night, you're not a fucking expert. And no, gay men should not tell straight men how to get relationships. And gay women shouldn't tell straight women how to be in relationships because y'all want to be with the same sex. So if you can tell me how to be with a man, then yeah, I can't knock that because you already know how to do that. But I'm not looking to be with a man. I'm looking to be with a big butt bitch. Hands down. Chocolate type. But I'll take a light skin one or a brown skin one. But if you don't have expertise in big butt bitches and how to get them, then I'm good. So, yo, I appreciate all y'all coming through, man. Hit that Cash App, man. Hit that like, subscribe, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Your boy is back. I'm going to try to come live a little bit more, man. But I'm doing a project right now, so my guys is just cleaning things. So I had a few hours to spare until I get back out there and help them out, man. And I thought I'd come and kick it with my people, man. So I want to thank everybody for coming through. Dolomite, Psycho, my brother Educated Aries, a.k.a. Goldstein, the Rothstein and Goldstein Law Firm Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? The wonderful, wonderful Danini. Thanks for coming through. My little bro, Big Game OJ, even though he's the most contrarian nigga I've ever met in my life, I love his contrarianism and I love his little package of bundle of joy that he got at the crib. Tell him Uncle Buck said what's up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely big shout outs to my man Tim Harvey. Hooah. Triple OG for coming through. You know what I'm saying? Azor for coming through. I'd like to thank all y'all, man, for giving me a few minutes of y'all day, man, to hear me. My EP Taya, my man Ale the Israelite out of UK. Thanks for coming through, bro. Lady Plants, I miss you, baby. I love you. I hope all is well. Give me a call or I'll call you later on this afternoon to check on you. I do miss you, homie. I do miss you. So, yo, I love y'all, man. Y'all have a great day, man. I'm out. This your man AC, but y'all know, man, I need y'all to do those three things, man. I need y'all to love yourself. I need y'all to love the ones around y'all. And I need y'all to stay safe. I'm out. Peace.